What's up, friends? Welcome into another special episode of Tables, Tailgates, and Top Loaders. This is the Week 3 game preview of Bills vs. Dolphins. I appreciate everyone stopping in to check out this special episode of the 3Ts podcast. Let's not waste any time. We got a lot to dive into. The Bills are coming in at 2-0 off the heels of an impressive win against the New Jersey Jets. And we're just going to dive right into the news and notes from the week. The power rankings are out after 2 weeks. After a 30-10 beatdown of the Jets. In most publications, the ones I found, so USA Today, Pro Football, Bleacher Report, NFL.com, The Athletic, ESPN, etc., the Bills are sitting at either 1 or 2 on the power rankings for each and every list. My key takeaway is this. The Jets were not as good as we thought. I do think the Bills are a solid team. So yes, they should be atop the rankings. We're trying to figure out teams real early in the season, and sometimes they fool us into thinking they're something that we're not. And I think that's what we got with the Jets. You really don't know what you're looking at until probably week 4 or 5. I think that's a good amount of time to get a handle on who these teams are. And the Jets, in my opinion, the Jets duped us, me especially, after week 1, but that's okay. We took care of business, and we are sitting atop of all the charts as expected heading into the season. Josh Allen, after his nose injury that he suffered versus the Jets, he's expected to wear a visor on his helmet. So, yeah, I'm really digging deep for news and notes, folks. He is expected to wear a visor on his helmet for the Thursday night game. This comes after, obviously, everyone knows he took that huge shot. He ran off the field, got some gauze packed in there, came back in, he missed only 2 plays. We all know Mitch Trubisky came in and threw the absolute dart on that play and picked up the first down. That was one of the great plays in the entire game. Yeah, I don't think this nose issue is going to be a big deal, but despite the chaos that Jim Nantz and Tony Romo were trying to cause, I think we are just fine. What else? Are we looking at a potential kicker controversy? Buffalo Rumblings. This is a website I usually go to and get some information from time to time. They put out an article that broke down Matt Prater's first 2 games. And then while noting he has been perfect on field goals and extra points, so I'm not negating that, I'm not disputing that, he's been absolutely phenomenal. The focus of their article is on how consistent he's been with kickoffs. And I thought this was a very interesting point and something to actually consider because under the new kickoff rules, this is extremely important. The NFL has put more of an emphasis on seeing the kickoff be an actual play. Teams are forced to put the ball in this landing zone, if you will, and he's done really great with locating his kicks on these kickoffs. You combine this with the absolute special teams stud that is Sam Franklin. This guy is awesome. He has accounted for so many of the tackles on these special teams plays, and so you combine Franklin with Prater's accuracy and being able to pinpoint these kicks in the exact spot they want. What the Bills, I think, are doing is like trying to set up Franklin to be the one to tackle. So they're almost like herding the runner, if you will, into a very specific spot on the field. So it's turning into a great combo. And if Prater continues this hot streak, if he keeps making all his kicks and he keeps being phenomenal on the kickoffs, the Bills may have an issue on their hands in the very few short weeks. You hate to ever see someone lose their job to an injury, and I think this is going to be a problem because T-Bass, he's under contract for a few more years. We're paying him. So I don't know. Is this a trade one of the guys scenario? You put one of these guys on the practice squad, they're going to get snagged up instantly by another team because there's a lot of kicker injuries and a lot of teams have a mess at that position. So anyway, we move on. Injuries. Let's look at the injuries for the Bills. The big news of the week, Matt Milano. Yeah, he didn't play the second half of the Jets game. Everyone it was rumored that maybe he was a hamstring or some sort of leg injury, but it came out after the game that he in fact suffered a pectoral injury. And so he hasn't practiced all week. There's really no timetable for him, but it looks like he is not going to play on Thursday night. Not going to play Matt Milano. And this sucks because I thought, yeah, he played a terrible game week 1. Week 2, he came out on fire. He looked like his old self. He was flying all over the field, at least in the first half. He was getting penetration. He was making great tackles, great vision. It was awesome. So, yeah, missing him is going to be a big blow. So I think this is where Dorian Williams is going to have to step up. We're going to talk about him in a minute. But, yeah, this could be a big injury for the Bills. Hopefully it's nothing terrible. It's not torn. I know he had a pectoral issue a couple years ago, and he missed a huge chunk of the season. Ed Oliver, the other big name, still dealing with his ankle injury, did not practice. He's probably going to be a game time decision, but the way the backups played against the Jets, I don't know if I would want to push it. Let's try to see if we can get through this Dolphins game, and then you have the, 9 days rest before the Saints come to town. So he's probably going to be a game time decision, like I said, but I would say let's not risk it. Let's let him sit out one more week. Darren Johnson, he's still dealing with the quad, but now he's limited. So he has been at least on the field for practice a little bit. I think if I were a betting man, I think he suits up. He's good to go. Cam Lewis, his backup, also has a shoulder injury, is also limited. And so two guys at this position, which in this game with the speed and the wide receiver core that we're going against, these guys are going to be needed. So hopefully they will be ready to roll. Shaq Thompson is the other one. He's still dealing with a hammy, and he's also been limited. I'm not sure what they're going to do about that one. Injuries to look out for on the Jets side of the field. Storm Duck, their cornerback, ankle injury. He did not practice on Tuesday. He might be out. I have no idea how to pronounce this name, but Ifeatu Melifonwu, the safety. I totally probably butchered that. I apologize. I apologize to all you Dolphins fans. He's dealing with a calf injury, did not play, did not practice, and also might be out. They had 8 other people on their injury report that were listed as limited. So the big ones, Jalen Waddle, shoulder. This looks like something that's flared up already for him during the season. This is huge. This is huge. If he's not on the field, then you can kind of funnel all your defensive focus to Tyreek Hill. That's a big one. We shall see what happens, whether he's ready to go. Darren Waller, the mystery hip injury no one is talking about. This is so weird. This dude comes out of retirement. The Dolphins actually trade for him. I don't know what they're doing, but this looks like a situation where the Dolphins really screwed the pooch on this one. So no one is saying anything about this. I don't think he's going to play. But the other name to know, Chop Robertson, he's dealing with a knee. I think he could be a really good player for them, a really good player, but I'm not sure if he's going to play. We shall see what happens. So far this season, Coach Mike McDaniel, he has taken his unique press conferences and cranked them all the way up to 10. This dude is so weird. He's got some crazy sound bites. I'm not sure what he's doing, and anyway, I think that leads us right into themes and storylines heading into the game, because let's talk about the Dolphins. They come in at 0-2. They got smoked, absolutely smoked in the opener against the Colts. And then they have their home opener in Miami, and it's a crazy game against the Patriots. They end up losing that game. The team has kind of looked like a mess so far, and the top stories coming out of Miami are not good. Mike McDaniel is already claimed to be on the hot seat, and they're saying he could lose his job Thursday night at 11:30, 12 o'clock if he gets crushed by the Bills. I think this has been a very weird season for the Dolphins so far, because from an outsider's perspective, looking at this team as a Bills fan, it appears like the McDaniel stick is gone. It's lost its luster. The players are not buying in. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to watch this game and see effort is just not there, and who knows? I'm not sure if the players are buying into his deal anymore with the leggings and the capri pants and the sunglasses, and I don't know what the hell he's doing. But if they don't turn this around quickly, this could get a whole lot worse down in Miami. So that's definitely a theme, a storyline I'm looking at. Josh Allen, historically, Josh loves playing against the Dolphins. We see all the shirts with him cradling the Dolphin baby in his arms, and everyone says Josh is their daddy. I love those shirts. He's got 13 wins in 15 games, including a 6-game winning streak. And on average, he's cranking up 3 tutties a game, about 275 through the air, and a insane 107.6 passer rating. I'm getting these directly from the Bills website, by the way. So needless to say, he plays great against the Dolphins, and I don't expect anything to be different for this one. The Dolphins defense, they have been trash so far, which is kind of surprising because their front defensive line is pretty solid. They can really get after the pass rusher, and they're just not doing anything so far. They do have some good players on that side of the ball, like I said, the front line, and they have some decent linebackers. Their cornerbacks are disaster. So if it's me, if it's Joe Brady, I get it. I have a feeling they're going to go run heavy this game, just like last game, and try to just skirt by and control the game. But if it were me, and this is another rivalry game, I would want to embarrass McDaniel and just run them out of town. I want them begging to leave Orchard Park at halftime. So I would be bombarding them through the air, go after our boy Rasul Douglas. He signed late. I think it was pretty late with the Dolphins, and he's already their starting cornerback. So I would be full attack mode, but I don't see that happening. The Dolphins defense, getting back to it, they've given up a ton of points, and the Bills need to come out firing on all cylinders, and I think they need to try to put this one away early. If we can jump out to an early lead, I think, like I said, the Dolphins team, they're going to want to pack it in and be ready to get out of town. I don't know who the clear leaders are on this team anymore. You used to think it was Tua, but I'm not sure. I feel like he's in the same boat as the coach. I just don't know if the players are buying into the Tua nonsense anymore. I think they're probably tired of it. So I don't know who the leaders are on this team. Is it Tyreek Hill? Because he's a clown. Nobody likes him. Is it Waddle? Is it A-Chain? I mean, who's the leaders? So somebody needs to step the hell up, or it's going to be a very long season down in Miami. The shine has definitely worn off Tua. I just don't think he's the same threat he was before all the head injuries started to pile up. And now, because there's this fear of him taking a hit and being out for extended period of time, if not being done playing football, I just think that his game is different. He's never been a huge burner, but he's been, I would say he's been elusive in the past, and now he's not even looking to run. I don't think the team wants him to run because it's just not doing any of that. And if you take away that part of the game, not that it was huge, but he did have that ability to escape. But if he's not even looking to escape, and I just don't think the team wants to put him in harm's way. I mean, I get it, but it really makes his game more one-dimensional. And I think teams have really started to get him figured out at this point. They know he likes to get the ball out early. He's got one of the quickest releases in the NFL. And if teams can affect the first read, it really throws him into turmoil. So the key matchup in this game for me is going to see how we match up with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. If Waddle can't go, that's a huge blow for the Dolphins. And I think, obviously, Miami, they're what they hang their hat on is their team speed, specifically on offense, something that could be an issue for our secondary. Trey White, he kind of worked himself back into the mix last week. I thought he played pretty well. Taron Johnson should be back, so obviously that's going to be a huge help. But I think if we can limit the big plays and keep their speedy running back A-Chain under wraps without having to stack the box, I think we should be okay. The Milano injury, him being out definitely hurts us, but I think this is a good matchup for Dorian Williams, who can absolutely fly all over the field. A couple other things. Cole Bishop, Taylor Rapp, they had bounce-back games against the Jets, and the offense, the Miami offense should be better than they're playing on paper. We've got to keep the positive defensive momentum going from last week moving forward into this game. So what are my X factors for this game for the Dolphins? Can their front seven slow down James Cook? I want to see the Bills air it out. I really do, but I don't think Joe Brady's going to do it. I think it's going to be a very similar game plan to last week. I really hope I'm wrong. But the Dolphins defensive line has not been up to the task. If the defensive line comes out slow and is giving up some big runs early, I think you better buckle up, Mafia. This is going to be a boring game, and I think it's going to be just like last Sunday. They're going to go ground and pound, and this could be Jets game 2.0, where we just keep the sports car parked in the garage with the cover on it, and he's not really going to have to do anything. I think we should know relatively quickly within like the first 2-3 series what type of game this is going to be. If the Dolphins go blitz heavy and they try to come after Allen, I say we just attack the blitz, get some quick underneath throws. Look, I'm not scared of Rasul Douglas and the secondary. So I think we can get some separation. I think we can get the ball to our playmakers. So Kincaid, Shakir, get your boys the ball underneath and let them go to work. I really think we can torch this secondary if they choose to play that style. Dorian Williams, he's my another X factor. This is his time to shine. I've always liked him. I think he's shown some flashes over the last few seasons, and hopefully with another training camp under his belt, more reps, he's ready to be a starter for us if needed. The Milano thing, look, it's unfortunate, but I feel like he's always dealing with something, and most likely, Milano is not a long-term answer for this team. It saddens me to say this because he's one of my favorite defensive players over the years to watch when he's on the field, but that's the problem. He's never on the field. So it's frustrating. Dorian Williams has to show up. He has to show what he can do when he's put in these big moments. It's time to shine. Let's see what you got. As I've already alluded to, Trey White, Christian Benford, can they deal with the speed of the Dolphins wide receivers? If Waddle's out, like I said, I mean, that's a huge blow for that offense. But the way we negate the speed, get our pass rushers up into the pocket, wreck to his timing, alter, change up his throw lanes. Like I said, he likes to get the ball out super quick, affect the pass, affect the timing, and that first read. He wants to make that first quick read and get the ball out. He does not want to be under pressure whatsoever. So if Bosa and Rousseau can keep the positive momentum, positive plays from last week moving forward, they can really affect his throwing lanes, his timing. And I think also when they try to run the ball, which is crazy, they don't really try to run the ball very often. I don't know why, because A-Chain is a very good running back. What is wrong with me? Running back. So I think if we can stay disciplined, kind of force him to our speedy linebackers, I think we should be okay. Mike McDaniel, this is my last X factor. Is he really on the hot seat? Because if he is, I think the whole playbook is on the table. Not that it shouldn't be, but a lot of times we see early on in the season, teams slowly introduce their whole playbook and they're not ready to open each and every chapter. But if he's truly on the table, if he thinks that this is a make or break game for his career, for his job, I see everything being on the table. I think he might get desperate to win this game, and I think we should be expecting the absolute unexpected. I think all hands on deck. You all better be ready for fakes, for end arounds, for whatever tricks they got up their sleeve. Like I said, if we get a lead early, I think this team's going to fold. I think this one will be toast. Stress meter. Last week, my stress meter went up the more I dove into the Jets game, but I got completely duped into thinking the Jets were better because of their week 1 performance, even though they lost against the Steelers. I thought the Steelers were better than they are. I think that team, I can't wait to play the Steelers later on, by the way. But I think it got duped by the Jets. I don't think I'm getting duped this week. And the more I dive in, the more I am not worried about this game. So the stress meter has gone down the more I dive in. I'm seeing articles all over the place about this being a trap game for the Bills. And, they better watch out and they could be in trouble. Please. As far as I'm concerned, that's complete clickbait. I'm not buying into that nonsense. This team is too well coached to fall for it. I started out the week as a 5. I know we're on a short week, but quickly that meter has worked all the way down to a 3. So I don't think this game worries me at all. I think the Dolphins are kind of a sinking ship, and I see Captain McDaniel dreaming of being somewhere on shore, off the boat, kicking his feet up, having some pina coladas, something like that, working on a new style of pant leg. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but I think this is a sinking ship, and they are definitely in trouble. Okay, prediction time. So here we go, Bills Mafia. The Bills are favored by 12.5 points at home. 12.5 points. That's crazy. It is week 3 of the NFL season, and the Bills are favored by 12.5 points. The betting guys, Vegas, they must know something, because usually you don't see a point spread that significant in week 3. So they know the Dolphins are a dumpster fire, and I am completely buying the burning. So the Bills are going to be rocking the all blues for this one. It's not my favorite jersey. Blue jersey up top, blue pants down low for this matchup. It kicks off at 8:15 Thursday night. Stevie Johnson, he's going to be the Bills' legend of the game. That should set the tone nicely when he does his intro. I think the Bills win this one rather easily, and I think the score is going to be 35-20. I think the Dolphins get a garbage time tutty to make it closer than it actually is, to make the score look closer. So I just don't think they're in this game at all after 22 minutes of playtime. So I think the Bills go to 3-0. They get a longer prep week to rest up and prepare for the great Spencer Rattler and the New Orleans Saints. So that will wrap up this episode of the special game preview episode of the 3Ts podcast. Do me a favor and share this podcast with someone you know, especially Bills Mafia, for these game previews. Send this podcast to a fellow Mafia member and have them like and subscribe and hit the follow. Leave me a quick review. I appreciate you all very, very much. So until next time, whether it's ripping packs, breaking tables, or dropping elbows, keep doing what you love. And as always, go Bills.